Bloodborne, one of From Software's greatest games of all time, and one of the greatest games of all time. But we are going to see why this game is so amazing in this video. So first of all, we have the bosses. Obviously, it has great side bosses, quite like Abrida's. That's the only good one I could think of right now, but anyways. It also has good main bosses, such as Father Gascoigne, the final boss, Gehrman the First Hunter, Murgo's Wet Nurse. Everyone says Murgo's Wet Nurse is such a okay boss, even though it is one of the easier bosses. I really like it. Shadows of Yharnam, one of the best gank fights of all time. Vicar Amelia, which I don't really think was that hard. But then there's the not so good bosses, such as Rom the Vacuous Spider. One Reborn was actually okay. I kind of like that boss. Not on my first playthrough, but he grew on me on my future playthroughs. But Mikolash, terrible boss. So yeah, Bloodborne has some good bosses, but it has some bad bosses. And it also has bad side bosses, such as the Celestial Emissary, which is just not a good fight. It's literally just basically the living failures. And then there's also some bosses that are really difficult, but not in a good way, that literally just made me want to just smash my TV the entire time. I'm looking at you, Bloodstarved Beast. But yeah. But enough with the bosses now. Let's just go to just the overall atmosphere and just the world building itself. The world building is really good. Like when you progress through the game, you'll see how everything kind of interconnects. It's kind of like Dark Souls 1, but we're not talking about that game right now. And Bloodborne actually has an okay second half. The scenery is great, especially in the Hunter's Dream. Like that stuff is just beautiful, man. We need to talk about the trick weapons. Man, there's about like 26 of these weapons, and they all have their own little double mode type thing. Because like with the saw cleaver, you could have it like long ranged or short ranged. Ludwig's blade, you could have it, well, just a small little sword, or put the holster on, and then it's like a big great sword. Or you could have like the Beast Claw, which has two different styles as well. And then the Burial Blade, which is either like a big knife or a big scythe, which is really cool. Arguably the coolest looking weapon in the game. And then there's lots of other weapons like the Chickage, Kirkhammer, and then there's lots of others. But now, just to get the certain annoying thing out of the way, is the Chalice dungeons. You knew I was gonna bring this up. If you're trying to platinum this game at all, the worst thing you have to go through would probably be the Chalice dungeons. But I'm pretty sure there's like a code you could put in the glyph where you could skip all of them and just go to the final ones. I don't really know what the code is, but yeah, that's just what I heard. Yeah, the Chalice dungeons are actually like really cancer. Yeah, and I don't really think the final boss was really that interesting. It was just really disappointing. I really liked the Thumerian Descendant. That's probably like my favorite Chalice dungeon boss. But yeah, they're not really enjoyable. The dungeons aren't really enjoyable, so yeah. So now we're just gonna have a look at just the consumables or weapons. Not weapons, like just items and consumables, like the Molotov, the arcane items, such as like the tentacle grab thing that Mikolash has, and the star attack. I forgot what they're called though. Don't flame me in the comments for that. And then I guess just the normal buff items like the empty phantasm shell, bolt paper, fire paper, beast blood pellet, which is, in my opinion, the best weapon buff in the game. I just think it's a lot better than both bolt paper and fire paper. And then I have not talked about Insight. Insight is basically like humanity in Dark Souls, except you can't like lose it, and you basically use it to either purchase things from one of the Bath messengers, or you use it to like summon AIs or other players to help you in boss fights. So I'm going to have to wrap up this video. I've basically covered most of the stuff in Bloodborne. I didn't cover every single little detail, but it's fine. But yeah, that's exactly why Bloodborne is amazing. Very good FromSoft game, and I'm sorry for clowning on Dark Souls 1 so much. It is actually a good game, but yeah, goodbye.